Welcome viewers to the next video of the playlist Standard Template Library in C++. So today we are going to study about sets which are a type of an associated container. So let's just jump into the video and see how we can implement sets inside our program. So at the top of your program you can either write #include set or #include bit standard C++.h to include all the HTML code into your program. So I will be writing #include bits standard C++.h. If I write this, then I don't have to write any other header file, so I will be writing this one only. And instead of writing #include set, you can also write this one, but if you want you can write #include set. Okay, and after that using namespace std, and then inside the main function we'll write our main code. Okay, so at first we'll see how to declare a set. So to declare a set you can do something like this: set, you will first write the name of the container, then the data type you want. I want the integer data type because it will be much easier for explanation, and you have to write this data type inside these angular brackets, and then you have to write the name of the variable with which you want to represent your container with. Okay, so S is a set which will contain only the integers. Okay, so now if you want to put some value, what will I do? This is just the declaration, and now to put the value I will just remove the semicolon and write in curly braces whatever the elements I want to put into my set. I'll write 3, 7, 2, 5, 6, and these are the 5 random numbers that I have put inside my set. Okay, so what is the special thing about this set, or what is the property of the set? The property is that all the numbers, as soon as we put them inside the set, they will be arranged in the increasing order if I declare them in this way. Okay, they will be arranged in a sorted manner. So now if I print them, to print them I can't access their index by writing s of 0 or s of 1, so I will have to use the pointer method. Okay, so either I can do something like set int iterator it is equals to s dot begin, and with semicolon s not equals to end, and then it not equals to end, and then I can increase the pointer till it moves till the end. But I will not do that. I will do and follow a very simple process for printing these elements of the set and show you how these elements will be arranged in the sorted order. Okay, so let's just print the elements of the set. So to print the elements of the set, I will do something like for auto I in s. Okay, and then simply I will do cout I end l. So what will this do? This will print all the elements of the set in the increasing order one by one in the consecutive lines. Okay, so the output will look something like this: 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So this is the sorted order. So after doing this, this will be the output. So for a simple understanding, what is this auto doing? It is automatically adjusting itself with whatever the data type is of what is the data type of the elements that is put inside S. Okay, and then all those elements one by one are put inside I, and I is printed. And in each iteration the value of I is changing, because in each iteration the iterator is increasing, so obviously the value at which the iterator is pointing in each iteration is also changing. So at first the iterator was pointing at 2, because internally the set, as soon as we put these elements, they are arranged in the increasing order. Okay, now if I want to arrange the set elements in the decreasing order, then what will I do? I will do something like set, then int, then I have to write a comma, and then I have to write something more, which is greater int. Okay, so if I want that the elements inside the set be arranged in the decreasing order and not in the increasing order like they have been arranged over here, then I have to write greater int, and then I'll write the name of the set, and then I will put the values. So let's put the same values over here: 3, 7, 2, 5, 6. Okay, and now if I print them, so how will I print them? Again the similar method. I'll write for auto it in s1. So this will be the name of your container, and this will be the variable with which you want to represent each element in each iteration. Okay, so now I will do simply cout I end l. You could have just taken any numbers according to your choice. I've just taken some random numbers, so the output in this case would have been just the decreasing order of numbers. Okay, so this would have been the output. So what have we learned till now? How to declare a set and how to put the values inside them. What is the special property? That they will always be arranged in the sorted manner. They'll be arranged in the increasing order if we write this set int s, and they will be arranged in the decreasing order if we write set int comma greater int s1. Okay, and to print them, what we will do, we will follow this simple pointer method. I've also a very good video on how to use this auto keyword. You can have a look at that in my channel. And for the sake of simplicity, we have used this follow to print the set elements, because we can't access them via index. We have to access them via pointer method only. Okay, so we are avoiding that set int iterator it method, which was a very huge statement and might have been very time consuming in typing them. So this was what we have learned about declaring. Now if you want to put inside an element inside a set, so what we can do, we can do simply something like s dot ins. First, let's say we will take an input, we will write int x, then c in x. So this is an element which we want to insert into our set. Okay, so now if I put inside something like this x, so I will do s dot insert x. So let's say if I have given an input of 4 inside x. Okay, so if let's say I have just given input as 4, so what, and now if I print this set s, okay, because this was the set s where I inserted this x element. So if I now print this element, print this set rather s, so it will look something like this: 2 3 4 5 6 7. Again the set will have arranged itself in the increasing order. Okay, it is not like any other container where the element will be inserted at the back. It will be inserted in the appropriate position where the set will be arranged in the sorted order. Okay, now if I want to delete this element, what can I do? I will just simply do s dot erase x. And now if I do for auto it in s and cout indel, I'll get this, and because this x which was 4 would have been deleted after I write s dot erase x. Okay, so two functions that we learned just now was s dot insert and s dot erase. Now if we want to find a number, okay, so let's say first we take an input int y, then c in y, then what we can do, we can do something like if s dot find y not equals to s dot end. Okay, then we can do something like y was found. Okay, so what is the meaning of this if statement that we have written? It says that if we want to find a number, let's say y, then we will write the function s dot find y. Okay, and if y is present, then it will not point to the end, and if y is absent, then it will point to the end. Okay, so if I wanted to find whether y was present whether y was absent in the set or not, then I would have written if s dot find y equals to s dot end. Okay, so s dot end is a pointer which points at the element after the last element rather. Okay, so what was the last element over here? So it was 7, so it would have pointed after 2 3 5 6 7 over here. Okay, so if an element is not found, obviously the pointer will point at something where the element is not present. So it is not present at the end, so it will be pointing at the end. So we will check that if it is not pointing at the end, then only we will print that it was found, because then it will point to some point inside the set and not outside. Okay, so hence we write this condition. So this was just another common function that we use inside the set. Okay, now let's say we want to copy some array elements into a set. Then what we can do, let's say we have an array int arr 5 equals to 77 69 70, then 78, something like this. So now if we want to copy this into a set, let's say first two elements, so then what we can do, we can do something like set int s2 is s2, and then you will have to give this brackets, and then you can do something like arr comma arr plus 2. Okay, so what does arr mean? Arr actually means arr plus 0, so it will start from the 0 index and go to arr plus 2 minus 1 index. Okay, so if it was since it is 2 over here, so it will copy the first two elements inside this set s2. Okay, so the first two elements are not in the sorted order, as we can see 77 is greater than 69, but as soon as we put them inside this set s2, they will be kept as 69 and 77, which is in the sorted order. Okay, and let's say if instead of arr plus 2, if there was arr plus 3, then what, then how many elements would have been there inside the set? There would have been 3 elements, and which would have been those elements? The elements would have been 77, 69 and 70. Okay, so this would happen when the instead of 2 we will have 3 over here. Okay, so this is how we can copy some array elements into our set. And if we wanted to do from not 0, then we could have written ARR plus 1 also over here. So it depends on the user, what the user wants to copy or not copy. Okay, and if you want to copy this entire set into another set, then what we can do? We can do something like this: set int s3, and then within brackets you can simply write s. So this will copy all the set elements into the set 3 in the ascending order only. Okay, now let's say if we copied this s1, this s1 was in decreasing order because we wrote greater int over here, and now if we copy this into s3, then what will happen? That the array elements which was 76532 that was in the decreasing order over here would have been converted to increasing order inside this set, because this set is supposed to be keeping elements in the ascending order, because we have not written greater int over here. So if you would have written greater int over here, then the elements would have looked 76532, but since we have not written, the elements of this set would be arranged in the ascending order. And so another last function that I would like to tell you all is this swap function, which will be used to swap both the elements of both the sets. Okay, so whatever elements were present in S would have been kept inside S2, and whatever elements would have been present in S2 would have been kept inside S. So for a quick recap, what we learned today: how to declare a set and how to put the elements inside the set, then how to print the set, then how to put the elements in the decreasing or the set order, and unlike the increasing order that we kept earlier, then print that set, and again how to insert the elements inside the set, then erase that element, how to find the element, then how to copy the elements of the array inside the set, and how to copy elements of one set into the other set, and how to swap two sets. Okay, mind you, if you have written swap s comma s1, then there might have been some error, because this set is of the increasing order and this set would have been of the decreasing order. So it is feasible that if you write two sets of the like nature, which is that s and s2 are both declared in the same way, that they will be arranging elements in the increasing order, so they can be swapped. Okay, so keep this in mind and write two like sets. And this was all about the video. If you have any doubts, do ask in the comments.